The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around, and an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day and in and out of weeks and almost a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws, till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with his magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all the wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat, so he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go, we'll eat you up, we love you so." And Max said, "No." And the wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him, and it was still hot. A teacher professional identity is a set of beliefs, values, and commitments that an individual holds toward being a teacher. It is our responsibility as pre-service teachers and teachers to ensure our teacher professional identity is in alignment with the teaching professional standards. Within Australia, there are 7 professional standards for teaching. Standard 4.4 includes maintaining student safety. At the beginning of the story, Max got sent to his room for misbehaving, so he took himself on an adventure to where the wild things were. When he became lonely and wanted to be where he was loved most of all, he thought of the safety of his home with his mum. Just like Max knowing he was safe with his mum, it is important for our students to feel safe within the walls of our classroom by using, for example, encouraging language, motivational posters, and creating a space full of acceptance. Max also craves adventure and fun in this story, which is why he gets sent to bed without supper in the first place. Creating an environment that encourages imagination and adventure and fun is an imperative aspect of a child's development. These 3 things make a student feel as though their individuality is welcomed and supported in the classroom. When Max said he's going to leave the wild things, they say, "Oh, please don't go, we'll eat you up, we love you so," as that's their way of expressing their love for Max. While we wouldn't show our love by eating someone, we do need to ensure that our students feel loved in our classroom, as it creates an inviting space and family-centered group. While it is of utmost importance to maintain professional boundaries, we can demonstrate care in relation to the teacher's code of ethics by having empathy for and rapport with students, families, and caregivers, colleagues, and community. With all of this in mind, let's always remember there is a wild thing in all of us.